Hey loves, Kim here and I'm back with another video. So if this is your first time on the channel, I just want to say welcome and thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you see, feel free to hit that subscribe button and be sure to click that bell, that way you never miss an upload from me. And if you're an OG that's been here for a minute, thank you all so much for coming back. So I'm here in the beautiful world of Sulani. Like seriously you guys, I just can't get over it. And I'm coming at you with a restaurant called Taste of Sulani. And the feel that I wanted to go from this one was kind of like a round shape on top. And I wanted it to be very open. I feel like this world is absolutely beautiful. And I wanted to use as many, well, as few walls as possible actually, so your Sims will be able to take advantage of these wonderful views of the sand and sea. And I am just super duper in love with this build. So yeah, here we are. How are you guys doing today? I am doing great. I am feeling super duper inspired today, which is quite lovely, and I love when I'm in that type of a mood because sometimes being the way that I am, I can get really excited about something and then like a light switch is over. But I am just loving this build series and I'm happy to be sharing it with you all. So as you can see right now, we are working on the main dining area. This build is pretty simple and straightforward. It's really kind of boxy if you're looking at it from overhead, but I love what we do with the roof detailing. As you saw in the beginning, there's kind of like a rounded roof, and I'm using these pavilions that came with the island living pack, and I love them because they have this beautiful cloth that's draped around it, and it just, I don't know, in my mind it will be really flowy and it will be so beautiful when the wind kind of breezes on by. So that's why I wanted to use them, and I think we keep them in this beautiful yellow color. I just feel like it's a standout and it just brings some of that island flair into the build. I just created a floor above, which we will be deleting, and I'm adding these awnings that are either base game or they're from Get Together. I can't quite remember right now, but they're the ones that kind of look like a wooden grate. And now I'm creating my inside area. So like I said, this is mostly open to the elements, but of course we need an area for the chefs to do the cooking, and then I also have 2 bathrooms. So yeah, those are the only enclosed areas, and that awning is from base game. And I really love how this is coming out. The reason why I'm using these awnings is because I am, like I said, I'm going to delete the floor above, and I just want, like, when your Sims look up, to get little peeks of the sun. So this is providing, in my head, a little bit of shade, but not so much to where you feel like you're cut off from the sun. And it's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I can't stop gushing. So yeah, we're just going to be adding on these awnings for a little bit, and then we're going to move on to other things. So yeah, this was one of the easier builds I did, but I found some of the play testing to be a little tricky because of some of the tables that I use. So I do adjust things here and there, but eventually it all works out. Right now I'm trying to figure out how this roof is going to fit on. I was having a little trouble with the roof because I wanted, when your Sims look up, so say for instance if you went into the camera mode or even first player mode, when you look up you don't see the blank ceiling. That's something that I still wish that we had. I wish that we had the ability to change the ceiling, because the white ceiling, it just doesn't go with every single build. Like sometimes it looks out of place. But in order to counteract that, with the roof, I pulled out the edge. I don't know what it's officially called, but I pulled out the edge some. So when you look up, it's nothing but the inside of the roof. And I really love how that came out. Right now, I'm just playing around with some wallpapers. And I do end up using the one from, I think I end up using the one from the Strangerville pack. I really love that kind of graded metal. It looks a little weathered, but it's still kind of trendy in my opinion, so I felt like it was perfect. And I think I keep the roof, that thatch material that came with the Island Living pack. And now we're working on this patio extension. So I would love if this was actually a thing, like if you could hire like a fire dancer or a hula dancer, you know, just to bring in a little bit more of that Sulani culture. That would be great. That's what I kind of had in mind. But you know, I end up putting some things over there so you can hire live entertainment, or if you just wanted to look out a little bit closer into the sea, that's the perfect place to do so. Now over here by the indoor area, I'm picking out a door, and I decided to have my servers to come in on the back side. That way it will just be easier for them to get in and out of the kitchen, and they're not all up in the way. Also, I do add a bar in front of the kind of chef's area, so when the patrons come by, they're able to look in and see what the chefs are doing. Like, I found that it was something that a lot of fancy restaurants do, so I wanted to incorporate that here. The aesthetic for this, I don't want to say that it's super high end. I wanted to go for a really local, down home kind of feel. So yeah, I wanted it to look nice, obviously, but not super state of the art, that it doesn't look organic to Sulani. Sulani is really giving me island vibes, so I wanted to kind of keep with the whole island aesthetic, and I think I did a pretty okay job. Let me know down in the comments if you think so as well. Now I'm adding in these ceiling fans, and I think these came with the Island Living pack, and I love them. I really love looking up and seeing the fans move around. It's definitely a natural way to cool things off, and although you're outside, sometimes it can get a little bit too hot, so it's nice to keep the wind going. As you can see now, I'm adding in some outdoor lights, just making sure that even at nighttime we can see everything that's going on. And I'm using these lights from the Get Together pack. I think I do change those out a little bit later on. And I was going to use those picnic tables, but I think I take those out also. They just kind of didn't go with the flow that I was going for. The main packs that I use are Dine Out and Island Living, and like I said, I also use that wallpaper from the Strangerville pack, and I use a bunch of other items, but those I would probably say are the top 3 items that I use. And I was happy with this. I was so excited to do kind of like an island theme restaurant, and I really like how this one came out. It's not too big, not too small. I think it's perfect. Now I'm working in the chef's area, and I'm making sure to have a lot of counter space. And I know that the chefs, they really don't use it, but it's nice to kind of look at. You know, I didn't want the place to feel cramped, and I add in the wait stations on the back side of the kitchen, so the waiters or the waitresses, the servers, can come in and put in their dishes and also grab the food at the same time. So I wanted to make sure there was a nice flow going on. I've been inside of a restaurant's kitchen once. My godfather, he actually worked at a seafood place in the city that I'm from, and it was a lot bigger than this, of course, but I remember that there being like the chef stations and then like this island in the middle to where the line cooks or the prep cooks, I don't know all this terminology, but they will mix the food, and then there will be a separate sink for washing hands and food prep. So I wanted to kind of incorporate those things that I knew about a chef's kitchen. So hopefully I did a pretty okay job, and I decided to use some metal flooring in here just because I think it's easier to clean. So I wanted to, you know, just do something practical, and these basic tiles that came with base game, again, just to keep it simple, clean, and pretty standard. Now I'm adding in these little decorations here. I might have went a little overboard, but I do like them. These are the little hanging utensils that I think are in base game. So I put that all around, and now I'm trying to decide what signage I'm going to use. So I don't exactly know what that is that was on the front of the roof, but I do know that it came with the Island Living pack, so why not? And about to add in some cabinetry here. You know, this is where you would store your dishes or any other products. I didn't have a whole lot of space in here to work with, but I wanted to fill up the walls with something that was pretty practical. And of course, we gotta have our paper towels and hand soap just to make sure we're all nice and clean while working in the kitchen. I put this broom and dustpan in here, but I decided to move it outside, and I put these robes here, and I'm thinking that those would be where the chefs will hang up like their coats. So if they were to leave the kitchen, if they had to go to the bathroom, they won't be wearing like their chef's coat, because that's unsanitary. So I wanted to have a place for them to hang up their stuff. And of course, I'm adding in some fire extinguishers just to make sure we're up to code and all of that. So yeah, I had so much fun really decorating this place out. And I feel like everything came together pretty well. As you can see out front, I just pulled out a bunch of different items. These are just kind of the things that I kind of wanted to use but wasn't sure if I was going to. So I don't know, I was just pulling it out just so I can know what my options were. And I'm extending out this back area. Yeah, I do move it up a little bit just so I can add one more row of those pavilions from the Island Living Pack, just to make sure that my Sims had ample seating. So yeah, like I said, it really turns out beautifully. I really love the colors. Like, if nothing else, the colors is definitely my bag. Now, as you can see, I'm adding in just a couple more of those awnings, and I'm flipping them the other way because I didn't have enough room to keep them horizontal. And since this was on the very end, I thought that it would be fine to flip them vertically. Now I'm adding in another roof piece, and I feel like this really brought in the roof line, like really put it all together, because at first I really did like the curve, but it just looked kind of out of place. So adding in that what is that called, a gable roof, it really fixed it up for me. Now I'm adding in these hanging lights. These came with the toddler stuff pack, and I love them. I love the big bulbs. And these are a lot easier to kind of blend in than the ones that came with City Living, so I love using these. And I put them all around, and I think I am about to add in, yeah, some fairy lights right above the chef station, just so when you walk up, it just, I don't know, it feels kind of magical. And I don't know, when I think of fairy lights, I think of just nice chill summer night vibes, so I definitely had to incorporate those there. Now, I love these tables. The only downside is that they don't have a bigger size. Like, I wanted a bigger size, so I ended up smushing tables together so your Sims can sit with larger groups. The only downside to that is that sometimes when you have a large group but you don't have a table big enough to accommodate all of them, they sit wherever. And that's something that I mean, I guess it makes sense, but at the same time, it's just really a pain. It really is a pain when you want your Sims to sit together, but they just won't. And I know that's partially my fault because I could have used bigger tables, but I really love the style of those because it matched the pavilions. Now I'm working on the wait area. So typically in a restaurant, if there aren't any seating available or large enough spaces for your groups, you have to wait. So I wanted to make just a nice little chill spot behind the hostess station, and I end up using that tree divider that came with the spa day pack. Love it. For some reason it just looked perfect there. If I wasn't going to use that, I definitely would have used that kind of triangle or diamond shaped one that's off to the side right now. Can't quite remember what pack that came from, but I think it came with maybe like the romantic garden stuff pack, or no, I think that one came with the backyard stuff pack. But like I said, we end up going with the tree branch one from Spa Day. No, is it Spa Day or is it Dino? I don't know. We go with the tree one, okay? Anyway, anyway, back into the build. I am just spreading out the fans a little bit more since we extended our seating space, and now I'm working on the bathrooms. I just keep it pretty simple in here. There's a sink, a toilet, and a little piece of countertop space, so if you have like a purse to sit down or like your phone, you can do that there. And this is what I was talking about, smushing those tables together, because I wanted to accommodate larger groups, but it's like sometimes if you say I want to sit here, the table next to it might have already been claimed, and it's just so frustrating. So I do apologize in advance for that. I recommend, if you want to guarantee that larger groups will sit together, to just swap out the tables. But I just really love that style. Like, you see how the draping of that tablecloth is tied to the legs. I love that, and that's why I decided to use those, even though I knew that seating could be an issue sometimes, so I do apologize again. But like I said, at this point I'm just adding in more tables. We've added in our tiki bar, and I think that came with a version of the base game that's not like with an expansion pack, but I think that's a part of the deluxe base game pack, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, we're on our lower deck now, and I am deciding which chairs I want to use. Both of these chairs are from the Island Living pack, and I couldn't decide, so I decided to use both. And I really love the kind of weaved style of the chair in the center, but I also love the mesh siding on the more squared off chair, so I just thought that it was adorable and I had to use it. And I also bring in the 3-seater couch that matches those mesh chairs, and I'm adding in some little seat stools that also came from the Island Living pack. Definitely wanted to have a really cool island vibe over here. So pretty much everything on the lower deck is from the Island Living pack, except for that rug. I think the rug may be from City Living, if I'm not mistaken. And like I said, I do add in the busking station that came with City Living, and a microphone. So if you wanted to hire some live entertainment, you are more than welcome to do so. Now I am just adding in a little corbel on the back side of the restaurant, and I'm just fixing up the outdoor lights, just making sure everything is nice and copacetic here, and I'm switching out those Tudor lights that came with the Get Together pack with some outdoor lights that came with base game. I just felt like it fit the aesthetic a little bit better, and the roundedness of those lights that I'm putting in now kind of reminded me of the roof, so I just thought that it was a perfect fit. And now I'm adding in these candle lights that came with the Dine Out pack. I love it. It just adds a little bit of romance to the place, and also a little bit of lighting, because as you can see, it is pretty dark out here on the water. And I'm just adding in a couple of more decorative items around. I think I forego a rug by the bar, but I definitely add one in the waiting area. And I love that new coffee table that we got with the Island Living pack. I love it. I love pretty much anything the game makes in wicker. Like, all of their wicker pieces look really amazing. I like the texture on them, so any chance I get to use them, I definitely will. Now back to the decoration. I'm just getting rid of the things that I wasn't going to use. I added in a trash can, and I'm doing a little bit of landscaping, nothing too crazy, but I'm adding in kind of like this darker dirt underneath each stilt, just to make it seem like it's been there for a while. And I'm adding in just a little bit of greenery because I'm going to add some trees, some palm trees, and some shrubs and all of that, just to make the place feel a little bit more fresh and lively. And I really love how all of this is coming together. And I noticed that this surrounding area used black rocks, so I definitely made sure to use black rocks, because your girl was going to use gray and they would have looked crazy. I love these shrubs. I really do. They look so lush and full, and they're definitely colorful, so it's really bringing in the island life in the landscaping, and I am so here for it. And what else? I think we're using those rugs that came with the spa day pack. Yes, those I guess it's bamboo. Those bamboo rugs. So I just put 2 rows of 3 together, so it looks like one long rug. And I'm thinking when you walk up, you can kind of dust your feet off and, you know, not track sand on the inside. And I'm picking some signage here. I'm definitely thinking the cuisine will be like Hawaiian barbecue or something like that, sushi, you know, something really island oriented. But anyway, you guys, I have rambled on enough. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up things here. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and if you like what you see and haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe. What are you waiting for? Be sure to click that bell, that way you never miss an upload from me. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. It really helps me and the channel out a lot. And feel free to follow me on my social medias, which will be all linked down in the description box below. And feel free to download this from the gallery. My origin ID is Simply-Nisey, and the name of this lot will be Taste of Sulani. All of that again will be linked in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you all in my next video. Bye guys.